Hello everyone, hi, I'm hyped. This is like my 5th time attempting to start this video, and if I mess up, we're just gonna roll with it. But I am hyped because we finally got a trailer for the benchmark, which is basically just saying we got 6 minutes of new footage to sort of sift through. And there's a lot of interesting new stuff here. We get a kind of sneak peek at some of the new areas and new enemy designs of what to expect. Probably the most coolest thing we get is some peeks at some of the new actions that some of the jobs will be using. So I've watched this before. It dropped during the live letter for the 14-hour broadcast that's happening today. So I have watched it, but we're going to watch it again, and then we can watch it again, kind of slow down and sort of pick out what we can sort of glean from this, because there's a lot we can probably catch. Not sure if we're going to catch it all, but we'll see what we can do. So just go ahead and watch it again, because music, we got sneak peek at some of the new music too, which is awesome. So it's a little quiet. Turn it up a bit. Now we have heard this theme before, I think. It was during one of the dungeon crawls during FanFest, so. That's, man, I forgot what that mount's already called, but you get it with the collector's edition of Endwalker. Now, the thing about this, a lot of this is cinematic flair, right? It's all this that the Warrior of Light's doing with Paladin. Pretty much going to discard all of this as any potential new job actions for Paladin, because it just, in my opinion, this is just cinematic flair. I don't think any of this is actually a new ability or anything. Oh yeah. On a ship. Looks like we're heading away, or possibly to a different port in Old Charlian. I like this sort of peaceful rendition of the Endwalker theme. I'm still a little upset we never got the official release of Endwalker's theme to listen to. But like I said, we didn't get Shadowbringers until after launch, so we're probably not going to get Endwalker's theme until after launch too. Looks really pretty. Quite large too. I mean, the Crystarium was pretty large too, so I don't know why that's a surprise. Alright, this is where I suspect we're gonna be spending a lot of time in. We got Warrior right there, Gunbreaker obviously for Thancred. There's Samurai, Dancer, Monk, Dark Knight, Paladin again. That is Ninja. Istinia Dragoon. I don't think. I mean, that's basically just a cool version of Dragon Song Dive, right, or whatever. Machinist, Melvira, and then Red Mage. A bunch of Black Mages. You can see White Mage and Summoner off there in the corner. Then we have all the leaders. Yen and Yugiri. We have this Omega looking thing. AoE heal from Sage. And Passage of Arms. No surprise, I mean, the statue for the Collector's Edition, the physical edition, is Passage of Arms, right? So, nice group shot. Oh yeah, there's Scholar. White Mage again. Boring Blade, still in the game, thank God. I mean, after the big the damage over time culling that Shadowbringer's dead, it's a relief to see that dots aren't going away again. Minor Fisher. Is that supposed to be botanist that's picking the leaves there or whatever, I'm assuming? East tribes. I like how we're just casually flying around with the Twintania. And there's Vitra. So we got Summoner and Bard here this time. Astrologian, Dark Knight, and Gunbreaker. And then we have Xenosus Reaper. That is the thing though, we didn't see anyone other than Xenos as a Reaper in this benchmark trailer. And again, this is more of that sort of cinematic flair looking stuff, right? So it's really hard to tell what's a new action and what's just, you know, there for the sake of the trailer. Although I do see this attack as maybe being the Limit Break 3 for Reaper. I mean, I guess we don't need, I mean, we got a whole Reaper video, right, back in FanFest, so. Well, alright, so let's go back and sort of see what we can find. I'm gonna mute this because we're gonna go ahead and play this at like half speed so we can kind of check things out. I don't think there's really a whole lot to look at here. I mean, there's some new, you know, enemy types to look at. Look kind of gnarly. We are fighting alongside the Imperials, which is something to make note of, so we're gonna be joining up with them, which probably, you know, that's not that big of a surprise at this point. Our world's ending. It's a perfect time to form that alliance. Skip ahead a little bit. This probably would be easier if I just use my own recording of this rather than the YouTube recording, but whatever. We're already here and we're already doing it. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? Again, a lot of this, there's no way we're not gonna be jumping off of our mount and slashing enemies as a paladin, as cool as that would be. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead because I don't think there's anything really of note that I want to talk of here. Just a big battlefield, looks cool, looks nice. Endwalker. Alright, all Charlene. I am actually interested to sort of see this. We're on this all on the ship. I don't think there's really anything special about this ship to really take note of. Oh, we've seen this statue in the full cinematic trailer already. Alphino taking a book here, which makes sense. Like, we didn't see Alphino or Alice beyond the first part of the cinematic trailer, but it makes sense that they would make it here, right? And a lot of these outfits we've seen before. I don't know if we've seen this outfit. This outfit looks different. We saw actually Rogadin had it on as well. I'm guessing this is some sort of Charlene garb, maybe that the council wears or council members wear. Who knows? Because yeah, because there's several different people wearing it, so it must be some sort of Charlene guard. I'm assuming there's going to be a dungeon where we can get this, but a lot of these other outfits just look like common outfits that we've seen before. This is like Idleshire gear, right? I don't know, is that maybe ranged or healer or caster? One of those three. Oh, and here's a market board, which actually, going back a little bit, we do see this is presumably the big-ass aetheryte that we're going to be teleporting into, which means that this could actually take some of the heat off of Limsa. One of the main reasons why Limsa is such a popular city-state is because the market board is right next to the aetheryte when you teleport in. And it seems that this is also going to be the case here in Old Charlayan. So yeah, that's nice. That'll be cool. And also this much bigger area, so it'll be nice to have more areas for people to sort of hang out in other than just Limsa most of the time. A lot of people hang out in Limsa. I hate going to Limsa because there's always a bunch of people there and it makes it laggy. I will say, I'm assuming this is mostly for the purposes of the benchmark, because that's the whole point of the benchmark, right? It's to sort of test how your system runs when under certain stressful things, which is why it's just overly crowded. I think it'd be really cool if you could set it up so that you know, there's just all of these NPCs hanging about in town to sort of make it seem more lively, but I highly doubt there's going to be this many NPCs roaming around just in town. I'm sure it's going to feel a lot more empty than this when we're actually there, because it'll be populated with actual other players instead of NPCs. So these NPCs are sort of taking the place of the amount of players that you'd likely run into. Although it does seem really cool seeing all these people just hanging about. I will say, Alphano does look a lot older here. I don't know, is it just me? I mean, I guess they are making distinctions to make the NPCs sort of look older as we sort of progress through here. So here we go. Here's where we're going to be spending a lot of time, I bet. There's a lot of stuff going on here and a lot of opportunity to see some of the new job stuff. So we can see right here we got Ninja. Might actually 25%. Alright, yep. And down, so we got Ninja, is that Bunshin, right? We do see White Mage here. It looks like they're just casting Glare, which means that we're probably not getting an upgrade for Glare, which is a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping we'd get another new upgrade. I mean, I love Glare's animation, don't get me wrong. It's much cooler than any of the previous 4 stone spells we've had on White Mage. But I'm assuming that since we're seeing Glare here, we're not getting an upgraded version of Glare. But who knows? Maybe with Endwalker we'll get an expansion of DPSing capabilities for healers to make it a little more engaging. That's kind of one of my wish list for job changes, is to see healer DPS capabilities expanded a bit so it doesn't feel as boring. You're not just spamming one spell for 27 seconds and then applying a dot for that in between. See warrior here. I think if we see another warrior here. Samurai right there. We see dancer, looks like just casting or using, not casting, reverse cascade. Monk. Thaumaturge, there's just an Imperial Thaumaturge. I think that's Alphano with Sage. Running through, here's Thancred, Gunbreaker. This is a little jarring. Let's go back to half speed. Back up a bit. Thancred is Gunbreaker. That's just Rough Divide, so not a surprise there. Here's the Warrior again. New skill or ability. I'm not really sure what this is. Honestly, the first time I saw this, I thought this was a monk because his axe completely disappears. But no, it is in fact a warrior. His axe just reappears out of its incorporeal form. Ethereal, incorporeal. Those kind of similar, right? I don't know. Now the thing is, this looks pretty devastating. It looks like an AoE attack as well, because this first part just looks like a slash attack, right? He's just slashing twice in front of him, but then it kind of expands out into like a circle attack. It looks like an AoE attack of some sort. I don't want to like, it doesn't seem like something that would replace Mithril Tempest or Decimate even. I mean, I guess that is a possibility. It's just a replacement for one of the pre-existing AoE abilities. You know, just replacing maybe what's the first one? Overpower, right? Because Overpower is a cone, whereas Mithril Tempest is a circle, which is kind of weird, going from a cone to a circle. And that does actually fit into what we see later with Samurai, because Samurai has the same problem. Whereas the first part of Samurai's combo is a cone, but its two combo enders for AoE damage are circles around them. So maybe they're changing it so that those tonal starters for AoE combos are instead circles to sort of keep that more consistent. I think that'd be kind of nice. Because they did that with Monk, right, in this expansion. Because in previous expansions, Rock Breaker, which was used to be a conal attack, but now it's a circle attack. In fact, I didn't even know Rock Breaker was I can't speak. I didn't even know Rock Breaker was a circle attack until like a couple months ago, because the animation didn't look that different to me, and I never bothered to check. So yeah, as we can see here, this is a very, this looks kind of like Shoha in my opinion. Maybe it's an AoE version of Shoha, possibly, or like I said, it could be like a replacement for the sort of combo starter. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. Is it Fuga? Combo starter for Samurai's AoE combos. But in my opinion, this does look very similar. It looks extremely flashy and very similar to what Shoha is, in my opinion. So it's kind of hard to tell, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then we also see Dancer here. It looks like she's finishing a new dance, and this looks like a dance finisher. You know, so you have a standard step, technical step. This looks like a different one of those, right? So a third one. And also the fact that there's also this blue sort of really big cone. This looks like a dance finisher. So this could be an upgrade to standard step or technical step. My hope is that it's just a third dance. You know, maybe a 3-step dance, since we don't have one of those yet. Not sure what it would do or what the cooldown in it would be, but that would be pretty nice. And then we see Monk here. I'm not sure what that is. This looks like, again, another AoE. We're really focusing on these AoE abilities, huh? And this looks very AoE to me, because look at that, just circles. You see circles all around something, you think AoE. Maybe an AoE Tornado Kick version, or an AoE version of Tornado Kick. We see a White Mage there, but she doesn't do anything. And then this here. So we have Dark Knight and a Warrior of Light as Paladin, obviously. In my opinion, these just look like updated versions of maybe Sheltron for Paladin, and maybe Blackest Night for Dark Knight. Honestly, I don't play Black Knight. I don't play Dark Knight that often to really memorize what the exact like animation of TBN is. I'm pretty sure this isn't it. In fact, I mean, why would you bother showing it if it was a pre-existing one? It could also be like I don't know, maybe an upgraded version of Shadow Wall. That doesn't make any sense. I imagine Shadow Wall is probably just fine. And then they use Intervene and Plunge right after casting these. So these could just be completely different cooldown abilities, defensive cooldown abilities in particular, that Paladin and Dark Knight just have. Or they could just be upgraded versions of their sort of short-term defensive cooldowns, which would be Sheltron upgrade, and a TPN upgrade, which yeah, not sure. And then Plunge, and as we said. Here we have, this is Ninja. At first I thought, you know, this looked kind of like I think I saw the feathers and the green, and I thought, oh, that's Garuda, like at a glance when I was watching this first time. But at closer inspection, this is in fact Ninja. And it looks like you summon a shadow of yourself that rushes forward and does like, I don't even know, like an attack, I guess. This does look like it's a ninjutsu just by the hand motions here. Yeah, this is probably a ninjutsu of some sort. So I guess we're gonna have to find out what that is. And then we have Istinian coming down here. Again, I don't think this is any indication of a new actual ability or skill for Dragoon. I think it's just cinematic flair. Then right here, this shot presumably comes from the Machinist. Not sure how accurate that is to an actual new ability on Machinist. We see the Red Mage casting something here, and presumably the Red Mage casts whatever that is, right? And the thing is, it lasts for a really long time. Like I don't know about you, but that lasts a really long time. Not really sure. This also doesn't seem to have any sort of associated element with it. Maybe lightning, I guess. Kind of see that. In which case, you know, maybe it's a dot. That'd be cool. It looks like some sort of prison sort of type thing, but I don't know. It seems we've kind of moved away from crowd control sort of things. Or at the very least, when we have like those sort of things like crowd control, it's usually a role action, right? Rather than a specific job action. And I don't think they would spend this much time showing us a specific or a role action. And plus, we saw she's casting this, so I mean, this could just be an upgraded version of what, for Thunder. It's entirely possible, I guess. But isn't for Thunder? No, for Thunder it was yeah, it's for fire and earth, right? Or the starters? I don't know. So I mean, I guess it's not the first time they've used job actions inefficiently, right? Because for Thunder is the longer casting one that you use at the end of your dual cast. So I don't know, but that does seem to be coming from the Red Mage. That's just how it seems to be shot. But it's kind of weird because she's not facing that direction, right? We see here she's casting this, and then the way it's shot, it looks like she's the one making that happen, but she's also facing away, so I don't really know. And then here, this is a little curious here. The male Fyuria Machinist here does the animation, I believe that's clean shots animation, right? But that's normal clean shot animation, which you shouldn't have at level 90, right? Because by that point, it's already replaced with heated clean shot. That is a bit curious as to why he has clean shot there. Normal clean shot, it looks like. But then here, he pulls out what looks to be like a blunderbuss or something. You can see like a shotgun shell kind of coming off of there. He pulls out this blunderbuss, this shotgun, and he does like a spread shot. So possibly an upgrade to AoE. They're really focusing on AoEs, aren't they? But that does look like a conal attack spread of some sort. I'm assuming that's either maybe an upgraded version of spread shot or an ability of some sort. Who knows? Maybe it's a upgrade to auto crossbow. I doubt it. See Graha here, he's casting some stuff. See Yeshtola and also just another random black mage here. They're casting some stuff. I don't know if this is a new spell for black mage. Fire 5 wouldn't surprise me at this point, honestly. Flare 2, whatever else you could possibly think of. We do see the summoner here kind of in the background doing stuff. I don't know what the hell Ifrit's doing over there. We also see another summoner over here. We can also kind of see, I just noticed, we can kind of see a dancer off in the corner doing some stuff, but I think that's just lay dance and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that doesn't look like anything new. Or blade shower, I guess. Yeah, that just looks like blade shower. We see another dancer here doing reverse cascade, looks like. Here we see Royal Authority. I just saw that from this paladin up here. Royal Authority still a thing. See right there. Also, Refulgent Arrow, kind of off in the corner here. It's kind of picking apart what we still have. I mean, considering how many things we lost going from Heavensward to Stormblood, and then from Stormblood again to Shadowbringers. It's always nice to sort of see what we're keeping. You know, not just what's new, but what we're actually keeping. So Ruin 3 still looks like is a thing. I don't know, what was that? Was that just White Mage healing this Black Mage over here? This kind of hard to tell. But that looks like no, that's Astrologian. This Astrologian's healing. you can I don't know if it's because we're in half speed, but this looks really choppy, these characters. And right, we see another summoner off here in this corner. This looks like she's casting, or he's casting Medica. And I don't know, is there anything else we need to look at here? Reverse Cascade. Yeah, alright. And then we see the leaders kind of coming up here. And yeah. See the Omega looking thing come up, do some stuff. See, I think we see Alphino come up here, casting an AoE heal as a Sage. Now it is worth noting, this looks like just an AoE heal. Like, Sage has been confirmed as one of the barrier healers, along with Scholar. And then Astrologian and White Mage are supposed to be like the more pure healers, but this looks like a pure heal in my opinion. You know, if you cast Sucker or you cast Nocturnal Aspect of Benefect, there's sort of that little shield bubble little thing that kind of comes up after the heal goes out. But this just looks like pure heal, in my opinion. But again, that could just be an animation thing. And then we see Passage of Arms here. We know Passage of Arms is still in the game because we obviously have that statue. See a bunch of the characters and all that have sort of converged here. Right here, what do we got? So we have Thancred, Warrior of Light, Dark Knight. Presumably this is what the Dark Knight new artifact here is going to look like. We have Scholar right here, Y'shtola. We have another Black Mage over here. I think this Hrothgar is a warrior. It's kind of hard to tell because it all kind of blends in together here. But I think he's a warrior. We have Estinian over here. Monk, Red Mage, Machinist, Alphino is the Sage, Re-Enter Astrologian. This is the Dancer. The AF gear. Kind of disappointing, the AF gear here. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to see it better up close. White Mage, Ninja, Raha in the background here, and then we have Samurai. Looks like an Asahi looking haircut. Yeah, and presumably like all of this looks like their AF gear, right? Anyone who isn't like one of the main characters of the actual story, so you know, Thancred, Urianger, Alphino. Actually, Alphino, I don't know. Actually, we've seen what the Sage AF gear looks like. Never mind, that's not the Sage AF gear. But anyone who isn't like a main character, right? We can assume this is what their AF gear is gonna look like. Red Mage, Monk, Scholar, Machinist, Dark Knight, Warrior. Can't really see Warrior that well. Dancer, White Mage, Ninja, Samurai right there. Alright, so here. No. Interestingly enough, I don't see a Faerie anywhere by this Scholar, which is kind of interesting. So this, I'm not sure what this is. I don't think that's Excog. And it looks like a shield of some sort. And then White Mage also does some sort of shield of some sort. This is a water aspected shield though. This is not Divine Benison, at least I don't think it is. I'm usually not on the receiving end of Divine Benison if I'm being completely honest. But I am pretty sure that is not what Divine Benison looks like. And this also looks like it is water aspected. So I'm not as sure with the Scholar one. Pretty sure that's new. This water aspected shield looking thing definitely looks new. I don't know why you would need an upgrade to Divine Benison. It seems kind of odd to me. But yeah. And it is also hard to tell. These could be spells. Like it's really hard to tell. But the thing is, these are instant casting. You know, there's no cast animation. So that leads me to believe that these are abilities. But they could also be instant cast spells, you never know. And I guess my best guess is to have that be an upgraded version of Divine Benison. And for Scholars, I'm actually not even sure, right? Because we have Adloquium, but we don't have an ability shield. So, who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see to find out. It's a collector's edition mount. I forgot the name of. Mitra. And this is presumably Razadhan, you know, Daphne looking area. And here we can see Miner, Fisher, and I'm guessing this is Botanist just by process of elimination, right? And they're just picking stuff off the ground there. So new AF gear for them. Didn't see any crafters. I don't know how you make crafters look interesting for a benchmark trailer. But presumably crafters will have some sort of script gear that's specific to them. Again, that I won't wear because it's too much of a pain in the ass to have 8 separate sets or 8 separate crafters. But we are getting increased armory slots, but those are just for weapons and rings, right? Because we're removing belts, we're getting new slots for weapons, /tools, and rings. Oh, I didn't notice this before, but these are actual, like, well, this is just a NPC Astrologian. But this is Alice Alphano. Who's that? Some random person, I think. Nice little roar, silenced half-speed roar. Thank you for that. And it looks like we're heading towards this little tower thing, where presumably the next scene also takes place. This looks like, I think this is a summoner. Dragoon on the back there. I don't know who that is. Not too important, honestly. What we're here to really look at are the job actions that we could possibly pick out here. Alright, so here we go. So we have Summoner, Ifrit Eggy, we've seen before. Ruin 3, still a thing. Whatever. Contrasex, whatever, however you pronounce that, Red Mage, still a thing. Goring Blade we see again. So here we go, another shield looking thing. I don't know if that doesn't look like Divine Intersection to me. This looks like a specific shield. It is possible that this is their way of telling us that everyone's going, or every healer, regardless if they're a pure or barrier healer, is going to get some sort of instant cast shield of some sort. Which would be kind of nice, you know, for everyone to have access to. Although, to be fair, everyone already does have access to that. You know, Divine Benison, Celestial Intersection, right? Is what it's called. Did I say Divine Intersection before? Celestial Intersection. Whilst you're in Diurnal Sect. And then there's Adloquium, which is admittedly the more difficult one to use because it's a spell. So you need to be able to cast that in time also for that to land. Which is why I'd be totally up for Scholars getting an ability version of a shield that will also be able to stack with Adloquium if we need it. Let's kind of back up a little bit here. Oh, so we do see, actually, Alphano here shoots his Newliths up and does something, although we can't see it because it pans away. We see the Astrologian casting their little shield. We do see this dragoon here, and this, not really sure. What is this? This, again, the way that looks, it looks like he stabs his spear into the ground and then does a bunch of kicks, which is not very which is not very dragoon-ish, of, if I'm being completely honest. But also the way he ends looks like this looks like the full thrust, the end of the full thrust animation. So because the AoE sort of circles don't look that pronounced and it looks kind of centered around the impact point here, I am kind of curious as maybe this is an upgraded version of full thrust. You know, in the same kind of way that we do have true thrust and then also Raiden thrust, this could be sort of that sort of thing, or it could just be a full-on replacement, you know, for full thrust, which, yeah, who knows, maybe. Just kind of see this again, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell if that's a single target or an AoE ability, but the fact that the way the animation ends looks very full thrust-ish makes me think that this is possibly a replacement of some sort for full thrust, or it could just be a completely different animation, who knows. Also, the way that he initiates the combo, or the action, also seems very full thrust-ish, right? Because when you do full thrust, you do kind of like that sort of animation with the spear as well, right? You kind of point the spear downward and then kind of shovel it up, if that makes sense. I'm not describing that very well, but the point being, or the point I'm trying to make, is that it's very similar to full thrust, so I'm willing to think that this is in some way a replacement for full thrust. Who really knows though? Again, we really won't know until we get solid information on this, which is probably still quite a ways out, if I'm being completely honest. Probably skipped back a little too far there. Well, actually, here we go. So that's true thrust. He goes into Vorpal thrust right there. Okay, so this is further. All right, this is further cementing my theory here. He goes into true thrust here. You can kind of see he's starting Vorpal thrust animation right as it starts to pan away, like right there. Hold on. Pan back a little bit. We'll go ahead. No, not double speed. Oh god, we don't want double speed. We want quarter speed. Thank you. So you can see he's going into the Vorpal thrust animation as it pans to the Astrologian there. So yeah, I think this is an upgraded version of full thrust. That is my prediction. It looks very full thrust-esque, and it comes right after Vorpal thrust as far as we can see. I'm willing to bet that this is an upgraded version of full thrust. Whether or not that's a full-on replacement or like a Raiden thrust thing where it's like if you hit your positionals correctly, which funnily enough this guy doesn't use Raiden thrust, but also, I mean, you do have to use at least one true thrust at the start of your combo, right? So I guess that's not too surprising. But the fact that we can pan in here and we can clearly see that he uses there's true thrust, goes into Vorpal thrust as it pans away, pans back just in time for him to cast my predicted replacement for full thrust there. So yeah, new full thrust. That is my prediction for that. We see Brutal Shell here, and then we have this, which at a glance I thought, oh well, that's just Burst Strike, but that's not Burst Strike's animation. Burst Strike is a downward slash into the gun discharge, right? Whereas this seems to be like an uppercut slash, upward slash, I guess. So possibly a upgrade to Burst Strike, which seems kind of early, but also like Burst Strike is like a level 30 skill, so I guess not. I mean, it seems kind of early because we've only had Gunbreaker for one expansion so far. But when you think about it, Burst Strike is gotten at like level 30, right? So an upgrade to Burst Strike, that is my guess for that. We see like this is an AoE animation for Sage. We might have actually already seen this in the Sage little 1-minute Sage video we got. And right here, it looks like this summoner's just casting Rune 3, which isn't that special, but what the Bard is doing here is what I'm more interested in, because this is new. And kind of similar to how the Machinist just kind of pulls out like a shotgun and just does like a conal attack. This looks like an upgraded version of a conal attack as well for Bards, which leads me to believe that the Machinist is getting an upgraded version of Spread Shot, whereas Bard would be getting an upgraded version of Quick Knock. Makes sense. This definitely does look to be in that sort of same vein, because you can see sort of the arrows line up kind of like Refulgent Arrow style, and then they kind of, you can see it goes into like a cone formation. And that makes sense, an upgraded version of Quick Knock here. Which is good, because I think Quick Knock is kind of a boring animation. Ever since they got rid of Wide Volley, which I think they should have kept in my opinion, because Wide Volley looked a lot more visually appealing than Quick Knock. But if we're finally going to be upgrading Quick Knock here, then yeah, this looks pretty cool. So I'd be pretty happy with that. As someone who's maining range DPS, I am pretty excited to see all these range DPS skills. So yeah, we get the upgraded Quick Knock, and then the Summoner does this, which I am still not even entirely sure what the hell is going on here. So it looks like a gap closer at a glance, but also the Summoner seems to be going through past the enemy. So I'm not really sure. And also it erupts in sort of like an AoE pattern, which makes me think that this is an AoE as some sort. But you see, it's not like what we saw with the ninja earlier, where he summons a clone and it kind of goes forward. And it's not even FFXIV who's doing this, because FFXIV is just kind of already over there. You can see it's the actual summoner who's moving forward and sort of I don't even know, like exploding in fire. I'm not really sure what's going on here with the summoner. It is possible that this is an ability that possibly lets the summoner teleport to wherever their Eggy is, because you can kind of see FFXIV, he's kind of over there, right? And then once the explosion ends, he's kind of beside FFXIV. Yeah, I don't really know, because it doesn't look like a gap closer to me, because he seems to go through the enemy it's targeting. It could also be like a Shikuchi situation where you place down an area and then wherever you end up you just explode, which is kind of a weird thing to give to a summoner of all jobs, you know, a gap closer explosion that is Shikuchi. That doesn't seem like a very summoner-esque thing to get, but that is my best guess on whatever the hell that is. It could also just be a targeted gap closer that just explodes, and also the fact that it explodes and it's a pretty big explosion leads me to think that this is an AoE of some sort, which keeps with the theme. For some reason they seem to be showing us mostly AoE skills as new skills. And then after this, it's just Xenos as a Reaper, and then us fighting with everyone else. And again, the fact that this is for the benchmark leads me to believe that all of this stuff that Alice and the Warrior of Light and Xenos is doing is just, none of this is actual like skills. It's just, you know, for the trailer, the sake of the trailer, just cinematic flair, choreographed stuff. It's hard to tell what any of this stuff could possibly be in terms of an actual new skill. There is one thing. You do see Alphino cast like a shield at some point. It might be right here. Yeah, he casts the shield, which means that we've seen every single healer cast some sort of instant cast shield of some sort, which further emphasizes that, you know, maybe every healer is just gonna get a barrier ability, regardless of if they're a pure barrier healer, which I think is fine. I do think that, you know, for the sake of content that only has one healer, right? Pure healers do still need to be able to mitigate some amount of damage. So I think it does make sense for White Mage and Astrologian to keep their barrier abilities. But I do think that is an actual ability that sages will have. And this animation here, I think I've mentioned it before, but most of this is probably nonsense, like I said. But I do see this scythe ability possibly being the single target limit break for Reapers, which does make sense because I do recall in the Shadowbringers benchmark we do see the Dancer limit break. I don't know if we see the Gunbreaker. It's been a while since I watched it. I don't know if we see the Gunbreaker limit break, but we do see the Dancer limit break towards the end. So it does make sense that they would show us the Reaper limit break, being it is the DPS this time around. And that's the end of the benchmark trailer. Really cool. Again, a lot of this is just speculation, and that's fun to do. You know, it builds up hype on your own, right? But yeah. We didn't get to see a whole lot. Honestly, a whole lot of it isn't even that clear, if we're being completely honest. But yeah, I'm very excited. I wasn't expecting this to drop today. I thought it would be kind of early, but in hindsight, it does make sense for it to drop around this time. So, benchmark trailer, the actual benchmark, will be going live, I believe, July 11th at midnight PST. So convert that to whatever time zone you're in. You should they did show off being able to create male Fyuria in the live letter for a little bit. So you should be able to make male Fyuria and save your preferences as well. If it works with other benchmarks, you should be able to carry over your benchmark characters into the real game as well if you want to get a head start on making a male Fyuria. That is the only new race for getting in this expansion, so that's the only thing really worth looking at. Although, who knows, there might be some new female Fyuria and male Hrothgar options that we can look at. I doubt it. I doubt they would put that in the benchmark even if there were going to be new ones, but who knows, maybe there will be. I guess we'll see when we get our hands on the actual benchmark. Man, this looks so weird going at actual speed because I've been looking at half speed for the past like 45 minutes. I'm still not sure what the hell is going on with the summoner here. What is this? I am planning to make a sort of list of changes I would like to see for the jobs at some point video. Or did that sentence make sense? At some point before Endwalker comes out, I do want to make a video of the things I'd like to see for job changes for all the jobs. And one of them is actually like a gap closer for Summoner, but it's actually for the Eggy, not the Summoner themselves, because that's kind of the issue, is getting it for Eggy in position when, you know, bosses jump across the arena or something. So it is kind of weird that the Summoner has a gap closer of some sort. There we go. Alright, so this video was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but that was the benchmark trailer. You can go watch it yourself on the official Final Fantasy XIV YouTube channel. And like I said, the actual benchmark itself will be available July 11th, midnight PST. Convert that to whatever time zone you are. Be able to download it, test your PC to see if it'll be able to run, or at what level it'll be able to run Final Fantasy XIV. It will also play this trailer basically for you and test all that out, and also be able to make male Fyuria if that interests you. And I think you can also plug in your male Fyuria in place of the Warrior of Light inside of the actual benchmark itself as it's running, if you wanted to do that. I think that was a feature in the previous benchmarks. I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. You can insert your own character that you make in the benchmark into the benchmark, you know, trailer as it's testing your PC. So yeah, I'll be sure to test out the benchmark when it comes live, but that was just sort of me kind of going at the benchmark, kind of slowly checking out sort of some of the new stuff, which looks pretty cool. Honestly, the things that interest me the most, or unsurprisingly, the ranged DPS, the new ranged DPS skills and abilities, since I am currently a ranged DPS main, and that is still my plan going forward into Endwalker for the time being. That's what interests me. That little shotgun that the machinist pulls out is actually pretty cool. And also the idea of getting possibly another dance would also be really cool for Dancer. But we'll just have to wait and see. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the trailer on your own time if you want to check it out. Listen to the music and sound effects yourself. Really recommend it. And also check out the benchmark when it actually releases relatively soon. So thank you guys so much. See you guys and whatever stuff I do next for Final Fantasy XIV. Sayonara. Bye bye.